time it is.
I got so much energy.
Gun Decker, you know how we coming, yeah, it's run DFS where we don't just play it, we run it. Whether for the long, couple dawns, a couple of buckets, guaranteed to chat. Check a bag like we carrying luggage round here. Everybody fam, we don't care about the budget round here. You can turn your cash to a couple of hundred round here. No days off, every day we be hustling. Tell them good luck, God bless, go win you some money. Get a pen and a pad and come see where it really take you. Went from 50-50 cash in a hit in the milli maker. Got the updated news and the status on any player. The chalk of the night, do we lock it or do we fade it? They ask me how I'm doing, I tell them I feel it blessed. If you want a slow grind, go place a single bet. Trying to get rich, parlays or boost the odds. Soon you'll be cashing and dancing with the stars. NBA, NFL, the MLB up in VIP. Balling like we want a GPP. 15 minutes to lock and there's a DMP, no sweat. We gon' figure that out and we'll still bing. But remember that it's a marathon and not a race. You gotta put your heart in it no matter how long it takes. 8, 9, 10 next got me sitting in first place. Top value player of the day, let's break the slate.
What's up, guys? Happy Saturday, December 17th, 2022. Not many Saturdays left, not many days left in 2022, so I hope you guys are ringing in the final couple weeks with your friends, with your family. Some happy times, some good vibes, and some good slates, some good sports. The Vikings-Colts game sure did pick up. If you guys got some action on that, did you full stack the Vikings with the with the Colts defense? It's craziness out there, right? But shout out to the live chat. Shout out to you guys hanging out with me on a Saturday, ducking in chat. Noble, Sen, Andrew Martinez says, so this slate's about to get blown up when Giddey and SGA get rolled out along with Giannis. Why are you like this? What up, Poro? Lineup sucked last night. Freaking Dort. Yeah, so last night was interesting. I didn't know going into like the final hour how I was gonna stand, but I actually turned into profit, so that was cool. Had a bunch of Anthony Melton that turned out to be fine. Once I saw that starting lineup with like two negative usage guys, I was like, you know what, Melton could probably get there for me on FanDuel. But it was a weird night. The Golden State Warriors stuck around, right? So that was a game that I was kind of like avoiding because I thought it would just be a slaughter. Well, Joel Embiid led the slate in fantasy points, 34 real points, 13 rebounds, 67 DraftKings points, and then Jokic was about 10 points behind him, 25, 11, and 8. Fred VanVleet was third on the slate in fantasy points, 56 and a quarter. Then Sabonis, Luka Doncic, Russell Westbrook was up there, had a triple-double in 30 minutes, also offered 2 steals. Christian Wood was coagulated chalk on FanDuel, 32 real points, 12 rebounds. That was one I was underweight on, so like that play made me feel like I was going to be against the 8-ball, but turned in a profit. Was well over on Naz Reid. We kind of anticipated Rudy and D-Russ to be out, but the simple fact they were 2-point underdogs. Just didn't see that. Don't really see many teams being underdogs to the Thunder unless there's a lot of outs. So that speculation paid off. Kevin Looney, any of you guys play him? 26 minutes in that game against the Sixers, 14 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists. He was 1 assist away from a triple-double. Kevin Looney was 1 assist away from a triple-double in December basketball. That was last night in a nutshell. But hey, we did it. We here though. What's up, Ankur? What up, dang lazy mofo in chat? Yeah, we are close. Actually, let me get you the official number. And I feel like we should have been at this number, but my streaming schedule kind of got interrupted. So we are currently at 7,996 subscribers. So 4 subs away. I don't know that this stream's going to turn in, a couple hundred viewers like the average stream, just because opposite NFL, and then I believe there's like UFC tonight, stuff like that. It's going to be kind of clogged airwaves. But hey, maybe we do get there later and we can get some lurkers to convert us into an AK sub channel. That would be cool. But if not, hey, I'm sure we'll get it on Monday. All right, so today's slate, if you guys are just getting started, it is a late lock versus usual lock time, and it's a 5-gamer. 4 of the 5 games lock at the same time. So it's going to be expedited, kind of play like a turbo with a little bit of late swap options once the dust begins to settle in that first game. So that's going to be a unique thing to play with. But let's jump into the spreadsheet. This stream, as always, brought to you by RunDFS.com. That's the place where we don't just play DFS, we run DFS. If you guys want to get access to any of the spreadsheets that I'm using throughout the duration of this stream, we got the NFL spreadsheet going as well, and we will reset the index portal tonight going into the morning and have tomorrow's full slate in the index portal plus projections, and then my player pool for NFL as well. All that's behind a paywall at rundfs.com. So if you guys want to test it out, there's week passes, 2-week passes, month passes, and year passes. Whatever you want to try it. It all comes with a Fantasy Cruncher voucher. So if you are looking to manage a portfolio of lineups, I personally use Fantasy Cruncher, and they hooked us up with a pretty cool deal that you guys could also get a boost towards using them. And since I'm in the Discord all the time, if you have any questions about how to use some of the tools over at Fantasy Cruncher, I could tell you how I use them. So go check that out. Let's get caught up on the news. There are 2 games that were in the daytime here, and thank God one of them was the Heat game. We don't have to deal with that nonsense, but the news to watch as of 3 p.m. Eastern via Underdog NBA. Giannis Antetokounmpo is questionable. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander also questionable. Jeremy Grant listed as questionable. Josh Giddey questionable. Drew Holiday probable. Şengün is probable. Caleb Martin doubtful. Lamar Stevens doubtful. Josh Hart probable. Jose Alvarado. All right, now we some desperados living by the motto, if I die tonight, then I'm ready for tomorrow. Alvarado. First game on the docket, Dallas Mavericks up against Gundecker at AK over Jordan Poole at AK. For a second, I thought I was gonna like, if you told me the scoreboard what it was what it was, I probably wouldn't have jumped in there. But I probably would have jumped in there, but I didn't. But I'm happy with it. All right. So speaking of jumping into things, the Dallas Mavericks jumping into their injury news and notes. This is the projected starting lineup that I've pulled from a couple other sources, and all of this is subject to change. Kemba Walker, Reggie Bullock, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, Christian Wood up against Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, I guess not Lamar Stevens anymore, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, 211.5 total, 8.5 point spread in favor of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Kind of crazy that spread has not moved. So what do we have here? Where we have the 2 statistical slowest teams in basketball. However, I do think there's a chance that the Mavs pace goes up because Luka Doncic is not on the court. He is one of the reasons why the pace is so gosh dang slow for them. And then we have a very, very short bench, it would seem like. So we will probably have the dumpster dive the Dallas Mavericks, even though the matchup's never going to be that appealing. It just seems like there's an opportunity for some guys to pay off min-price salary through and through. So a headache begins, and that's what this slate's going to be. It's going to probably create studs and scrubs just based on the way things are going to shake out. So let's try to figure out these Mavericks. Let's go pull up a recent minute rotation for the Mavericks. First of all, Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker. Oh man. What up, Doug? Who is Luka? What was Luka just sat out not too long ago. Let's see what game that was. Alright, so we look for something between the 10 and the 16th. I want to say it was the 3rd or the 10th. Let me see. Yep, there it is. So on the 10th, we saw Dinwiddie play 29 minutes. The garbage crew was Jaden Hardy, Frank Ntilikina, Davis Bertans, who was questionable. I don't think he's been playing. Javal McGee. Now we take out Dinwiddie, Powell. Our guard rotation looks like Kemba Walker, Tim Hardaway, Reggie Bullock, and Jaden Hardy. And Jaden Hardy is this name that I just can't get out of my mind right now because he has been killing it in the G League. And I wonder if 100K to first type of tournament would create an opening to get to a guy like Jaden Hardy. Because I don't know what projection systems are going to be for him, but check this out. In 10 games in the G League so far this season, 34 minutes a game, averaging 30 points a game. That's crazy. And also averaging almost 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and a couple stocks. So he's somebody I think I don't have 0% of, even if he doesn't start here. So just a name that I'm keeping in my back pocket. There's never going to be warm and fuzzies on Kemba Walker, Reggie Bullock ever, but at these price points, it's kind of like last night. It just felt like John Wall, even though I didn't love the thought of him, bursting through a 30-minute playtime. I think you take that situation and then you make a minimum price, it's even harder to get away from. So unfortunately, I think these Mavericks are just going to have to be thrown into the blender. Wholly expect Christian Wood to lead the team in usage, probably shots, and following last night's big performance at 6,500 on FanDuel, 6,300 on DK. That's probably going to come with some ownership. I know the matchup's not that great, so it is something that you have to wrestle with. But man, usage sometimes will just usurp matchup if we're going to keep this game close. And right now, single-digit spread is at least a push in the right direction. So unfortunately, it's going to be hard to get away from Christian Wood, but it does make sense for this to kind of be a letdown spot after last night. Let's get caught up on chat. Mavs by 40, you think so? What's up, Shane? Do we like Kemba? Actually, let me pull up a couple things. Let me pull up. I don't know. Do we have any beat writer leans on what's going to happen here with the Mavs? Just seems like a really short rotation. It also feels like, I don't know. Let me see if I can take a look at ownership. See if some of these Mavs are becoming coagulated chalk. Christian Wood, Kemba Walker, Tim Hardaway. So basically, Mavs are going to be half owned in over half of the lineups tonight, which makes me kind of, I don't know. Even Hardy picked up 10% ownership. All right. Do we like Kemba? No. Do we have to play him? Probably. Just way too much opportunity for min price on DK and borderline min price on FanDuel, especially if we get some more news later on. What about the Cavs here? We do anything with these Cavs? Under 8K, Darius Garland. I'm getting about a 40-plus fantasy point projection there. I'll take that on a 5-game slate. Kind of the same song and dance with Donovan Mitchell. I do expect this to be a net slow pace even without Luka. I don't expect him to run a track meet, but I do think the Mavericks, with a road deficit, without Luka being the one to walk the ball up the court, have a chance to overplay their pace. So it should technically be a pace-up environment for the Mavericks, but bad spot all the way around in terms of projecting matchups. So looking like most people are going to start their lineup with Kemba Walker, Christian Wood, and probably Tim Hardaway Jr. And my soft projections really don't disagree with that at all. Do you guys want to get different on any of those names? It's kind of hard to paint failure at those price points, considering their usage. So I think I'm going to eat the chalk, but I also think that I'm going to get to some Jaden Hardy tonight and just hope for the best, because I love this kid's game in the G League. Dinwiddie's out, so yeah, there's just a ton of outs. They'll have a really tight rotation. All right. Next game on the docket, Portland Trailblazers at the Houston Rockets. Project starting 5 for the Blazers. Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons, Josh Hart, Jeremy Grant, Yusuf Nurkic taking on Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Eric Gordon, Jabari Smith, and Alperen Sengun. 228 total, 3.5 point spread in favor of the visiting Portland Trailblazers. Hard to fade them all, but NBA DFS. Yeah, Ankur, this reminds me of last week when the Nets, everybody was out, and it was like backups to the backups, and people were in chats saying, "Oh, the Nets are gonna bust," and it was like, "No, they're gonna score points. It's a basketball game." So even though it's uncomfortable, the usage and the minutes and the price point just kind of trumps everything. You kind of have to get there in a 5-game slate. In regards to the Blazers, we mentioned Jeremy Grant has a tag on him. Let me see if we can get an update on what's going on with him. By the way, chat, music good? Not too loud? I got Jeremy Grant questionable with the back spasms. Second night of a back-to-back, and there's a chance he's held out. If that's the case, Justice Winslow should slide into the starting lineup. He is adept at providing assists from the forward slot, but he wouldn't be a must-add in season long. All right, so that's a blurb from NBC Sports Edge. We do have Josh Hart probable, Trendon Watford probable, and then Damian Lillard, who has been somebody I've been keeping an eye on. His usage right now is just incredibly high. He's starting to look like vintage Dame, and this is a vintage Dame matchup. Many moons ago, he sent Houston home in the playoffs, but check this out. Damian Lillard this season on the court has a 33% usage rate, 1.3 DKP per minute, $1.25 on FanDuel. That's just really, really good. You do something like take off Jeremy Grant if you had to. We'll see what that does. 135 with a 36% usage rate. So small boost up, not that he needs it. And now you put him against one of the best matchups you could possibly ask for right now. The Houston Rockets, one of the worst defenses, pace up spot for them. And then just a 3.5 point spread. So really, really good spot for Damian Lillard. I'm only getting a really small, like in my mind, 45, 46 projection. But that maybe it's a gut call more than anything. I think this could be a 50 fantasy point night for Damian Lillard, so I'll play him like that. At the same time, this is a very shallow S tier slate, I guess you could say, right? No Luka, no Jokic, guys like that. It is Giannis and everybody else. So I think even if a high 40 fantasy point performance came through for Lillard, you kind of have to leave the what I need at 10K parameters or thought process behind on a slate like this, because there's going to be so much expendable salary that raw points are going to trump prioritizing points per dollar, if that makes sense, right? So I do like Damian Lillard, and there's a good chance he wins the position, especially on FanDuel at under 10K. So somebody I'll be getting to because of the pace and because of how sloppy the Rockets defense is. I do think it's a fun spot for Josh Hart. This is a peripheral getter as a big, and then if we lose Jeremy Grant, he does represent 20 plus real points a game and a couple of rebounds per game that maybe Josh Hart can compensate for. And this could be a double-double spot for Josh Hart on DraftKings, because Josh Hart, one of the better rebounding forwards in basketball, so I like him quite a bit. In the front court, Nurkic's minute projection is always an uncomfortable one to get to with a high level of confidence, but it is a great spot for him. If he can get to like a 30-minute threshold like we saw against San Antonio, will likely be more than a point per minute, and we know 40-plus fantasy points is in the range of outcomes here. So at least a tier 3 here, maybe gets up to a tier 2 based on how the player pool is looking as we get closer to lock. Because I think right now the center spot, is Christian Wood center only on DraftKings? I know he's not. So maybe the center spot isn't locked halfway as I was leading to. So good spot for them. And then the other day, I mentioned that the Rockets were on a condensed slate. I think it was a 4-game slate. I think it was against Miami. And I noticed at the top of the leaderboards at halftime, like Kevin Porter was 20% owned, Jalen Green was 20% owned, and I just wasn't there. And I don't necessarily know why. Maybe it's just a a bias of not getting to these guys much, a little volatile in their minute projections, what have you. But maybe I don't forget about him here. 7.1K on DraftKings. I got KPJ at a 35-minute projection, jumping over 40 fantasy points in the interest of letting the algorithm do the thinking for me. He comes in 3K cheaper than Damian Lillard, and the soft projection was only a 3 fantasy point margin. So maybe I should be giving more credence or more thought to playing KPJ. 44 against the Miami Heat, like we mentioned. This pace is still going to be down, 97 on the pace rating, but I still think it's a spot where I don't forget about the Rockets here, especially if more value comes out from some of the other news we're waiting on. KPJ is about a 1-4 own, so yeah, maybe it's just a me thing. Gun, don't forget about the Rockets. All right, Şengün about the same price range as Christian Wood, something to keep an eye on. He does have a tag on him. Let's get the update on that. He's probable, so we're good. Also, Eason is probable. Looks like everyone for the Rockets is going to be good to go today. And that's a rare feat for the Rockets lately. I like so many centers I want to play on FanDuel. Yeah, it happened yesterday with Naz Reid and Okongwu, and I got lucky that I liked Naz Reid for more for less salary. But on DK, I went a lot of double dipping on Okongwu and Naz Reid, and Naz Reid was just so good. Like the Dame call, probably going to overlook tonight. Yeah, let's see. Lillard, 18%. Anything under 20% is probably par for the course on a 5-gamer. So, yeah, could be slept on. But I guess a fully healthy Rockets team doesn't give me much comfort in terms of minute projections. But give me Josh Hart, give me Dame, give me a little bit of KPJ, and maybe a little bit of Şengün and Nurkic. There's definitely some pieces to go and grab here. Remember 2 years ago, I used to start my FanDuel lineup with Dame and Kemba. Oh, man. You guys remember my boy Mo? Kemba in Charlotte, Kemba got hose. I used to love that. Utah Jazz, Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, Larry Markkinen, Jared Vanderbilt, Kelly Olynyk taking on Drew Holiday, Javon Carter, Grayson Allen, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Brook Lopez. 230 total, 4.5 point spread in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks. So, some of you guys are pessimistic about the availability of Giannis Antetokounmpo, and maybe it's the 4.5 point spread with Giannis being at home. I don't know, maybe. We do know Chris Middleton would be out, so he can't keep getting away with this. We do know that Drew Holiday is probable. He was dealing with a non-COVID illness. He's missed the last 2 games. And then we know Giannis Antetokounmpo is questionable with left knee soreness. He was added to the injury report late Friday night. And with Middleton already out, the Bucks will be desperate to find some offense if Giannis is sidelined. So that's a blurb from NBC Sports Edge. So there's at least an above 0% chance that Giannis takes the night off. Serge Ibaka is probable, in case you were wondering. So I guess there's 2 ways to play this. One, if Giannis Antetokounmpo plays, he's going to project as the top raw point scorer on the entire slate, and we're getting a single-digit spread right now. And we saw this team play pretty poorly against the Memphis Grizzlies, and they were 2-point dogs and got blown out. Would probably expect this game to be competitive long enough, strong enough for Giannis to be in contention to lead the entire slate in raw fantasy points. And because of how much value seems to be prevalent at the moment, I just won't overthink it. I'll just go take the value or go take the raw points. If we lose Giannis Antetokounmpo, knowing Drew Holiday is probable, you have to load up on Drew Holiday, especially in a matchup like this. So let's put some numbers to that statement, so it's not just Gun saying things. And we have tons of time. I don't know why I'm going so fast, like as a 10-game slate. Let's take Giannis and Middleton off the court. Legend gruesome. Yo, Mo was in a live before lock chat not too long ago. Shout out Dono with the shout out. Drew Holiday this season without Giannis, without Middleton, almost 1.5 DraftKings points per minute, 1.4 FanDuel points per minute, a 35% usage rate, a 49% assist rate. Just 225 minutes of sample size, so if we want, put a little bit more sample on it. We'll elongate that since the beginning of last season, just to get some more minutes and kind of guide us in the right direction. Pretty much the same team, outside of a few role players, and a lot of the same. 1.45 DraftKings points per minute, 1.4 FanDuel points per minute, 36% usage rate, 47% assist rate. So Drew Holiday would be the lock if Giannis Antetokounmpo doesn't play here, and then that would open up a lot of bucks as well. Bobby Portis would be right there in that Christian Wood range, and you probably just play them together in every site, and then might be looking at guys like Grayson Allen at 4,300 to kind of come through. You're looking for some guys to compensate for 30 real points, 11 rebounds coming off the team if he can't go. So everyone would be in the conversation on the Bucks side. On the Utah Jazz side, only Colin Sexton listed on the injury report as out. If he can't go here, with everyone else going here, it is what it is. I think the other night we saw Jordan Clarkson peak peak performance at a peak price point, considering Clarkson was back. Considering Conley was back. I think he dropped 50 fantasy points. Yeah, 57. They did get the benefit of overtime, but he also shot 50% on 14 3-point attempts and 26 total shot attempts. So overtime helped a little bit. How often is he going to break 40 fantasy points is more so the question for me. I think it's more than 0, and then we start maybe putting him in 1v1s against other guys in that price range. So like Jordan Clarkson versus an aforementioned Kevin Porter Jr., CJ McCollum's on the list as well. Just guys in the 7K price range. How often is Clarkson going to outscore all those guys? Again, I think it's above 0%, especially if we lose Giannis here. But I also do worry about the offensive efficiency of the Bucks in the absence of Giannis and Middleton. So a lot of moving parts for the Bucks side. Clarkson and marketing at these price points, it does give me Levine and DeRozan vibes, where I feel like they're not going to coexist ceiling that often, but it's not impossible. So I might try and achieve that a little bit in my exposures tonight. So I might, I don't know how I would achieve. I guess I'd put them both in the same group. I don't know that I don't want, maybe, yeah, I probably would just say one or the other. Probably, right? Probably, yeah. And then Kelly O, kind of the same song and dance. 6K price range. You're easily going to be more interested in the Christian Woods, maybe the Nurkic's, maybe the Şengün, maybe the Bobby Portis. So the 6K center range is freaking stacked today, and it could be even more stacked when we get there. So guys like Olynyk could slip through the cracks, and just who becomes the highest scoring center. I think you have to assume that Christian Wood is the highest scoring at that price range, but there's a range of outcomes that would kind of create a pathway to success for some of these other guys. I think Bobby Portis has a real case to put up a similar score. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really run into some of these other centers here. We just want Giannis. Yeah, so do I. So again, every game other than the 9 o'clock game at the same time. So we're going to have the news to react. It's not like this game is 2.5 hours or an hour and a half into the slate, and we got to go from there. We're going to have all the news that we really need, and I kind of like it. I kind of love that 4 of the 5 games lock at the same time. So we'll be able to react accordingly. I'm just kind of setting the pieces, doing some primitive research or elementary research on the if this happens and if that happened. If Giannis is in, playing some Giannis. If Giannis is out, lock button Drew Holiday. Right? Like, it's close. 20 lineups. I think there's a good chance on FanDuel.com. I'm locking old Drew. So, I don't know. Do you guys have any stronger takes on the Utah Jazz? I feel like I was kind of lazy with what I'm going to do with them. But I really got no, I don't know, look at ownership on the Utah Jazz. Anything? Highest on Utah player is Jordan Clarkson. at sub 10%. So Utah's going to gain no traction. Maybe that's your pathway to success here. To think if you're wanting to think contrarian is to get some of these Utah pieces, but it's so easy to miss out on them when you're building your lineup pre-flop, right? Vikings won. That's crazy. Yo, didn't who did I see? I saw somebody post a halftime slip for the Vikings to win the game. I think it was Adam. I wonder if he held on to that. Dang. Shout out to the Vikings though. Hold on. How many I have some playoffs and season long that would really like a big score from Jefferson and Thielen. Jefferson 33, Thielen 13, and KJ Osborne had 16 targets. Jeez, that's crazy. You like Conley 5,500? Yeah, and I think a 5K guard is really easy to fall through the cracks because there's a lot of eyes open at the top, and then there's a lot of value at the bottom. So a guy that can give you a run-of-the-mill 30 to 40 is intriguing. Yeah. All right. Grizzlies at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Project starting 5 for the Grizzlies. John Morant, Dylan Brooks, John Concher, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Stone Cold Steven Adams taking on SGA, Josh Giddey, Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, and Alexei Pokusevski. We got a 231 total, and the visiting Memphis Grizzlies are 10-point favorites. And we do have some injury news and notes to caretake on the Thunder side. First things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil. Josh Giddey, illness, questionable to play. SGA, low back contusion, questionable. He's been durable all season, but there's a chance that he misses the second leg of a back-to-back. If that's the case, all available guards. All right, so that's from NBC Sports Edge. Lou Dort is... He had a right hand sprain last night, but I don't see a designation on him, an official one. Kenrich Williams, questionable right knee sprain. Darius Baisley out. Jeremiah Robinson Earl out. And then Mike Muscala questionable. And that could be a little bit of the back-to-back-itis. So let's see. Muscala, has he played back-to-backs? Muscala has not played a back-to-back this season. So, what can we infer? Well, we just won't know about the guard stuff until we know. But can we feel good about Pokusevski's minute projection right now? 24 minutes last night. He didn't close out. Said they closed with Eugene and Aaron Wiggins, SGA, Giddey, and Jalen Williams. If we were to lose a back-to-back Muscala for 10 minutes, and we know all these other bigs are out, I think there's a real chance Paku could get 25 to 30 minutes and have all the usage at 3,900. So something to keep an eye on. Much like the Mavericks situation, none of it is a good matchup, but because it comes down to usage, price, minutes, somebody's got to score. Literally, somebody has to. So something to keep an eye on there. If SGA and Giddey can't go, or one of the other, obviously the other one's boosted it. If we lose them both, we probably see a Trey Man, Aaron Wiggins. Might even see some Lou Dort running the point here. This is going to get really ugly really fast. Good God. This could be bad. This could be bad. And the 10-point spread, I don't even know what to infer from that because, I mean, it's not impossible for the Thunder to be 10-point dogs to the Grizzlies as is. But I guess I would say since the Grizzlies are on the road, Thunder at home, maybe I would have put it at like 9.5, 8. You know what I'm saying? Something that leaves the door open. So I would lean towards one of the big boys being out, and the biggest of them being SGA. So I don't know. What are you guys thinking? Are you guys preparing for the Thunder to be down? If the Thunder are out, I really don't know what to make of any of these guys. I guess all we can do is just kind of look at what has happened. I don't know. Let's just take off. Trey Mann. I don't know. I hope they're not both out, because that'll give me at least a halfway head start. Dort is in, yeah. Let's bring that to this year. What's up, Jimmy? Yeah, I saw that Vikings game. It was nuts, Jake. Man, there's a lot of people speaking in absolutes at halftime about the Vikings. Then they come back and win that. I mean, that's the all-timer right there, right? If you're a Vikings fan, you ain't going to forget that one. Bruh. When I take off SGA and Josh Giddey, the only players that exceed a point per minute is JRE. He's not there. Isaiah Joe, okay. Mike Muscala probably doesn't play today. This is bad. Oh, had to pop my neck. I'm sorry. Good God. This is bad. I guess Jalen Williams would be something that I'd... Him and Pokusevski would be the two pieces that I'd gravitate towards the most. But it's not really like we need value, and it's not like we need centers and power forwards on a slate that could give us Bobby Portis if Giannis is down, Christian Wood. Oof, it's ugly. This is just nasty. YMCA team, yeah. You know, we it was funny. It's like, was it yesterday? We had looked up. I don't know if it was yesterday. One of the streams the last couple of days, we had looked up a random ceiling game for someone against the Thunder, and the Thunder rolled out a 6-man rotation last year, and all those guys were like somewhat needed just because somebody accrues fantasy points for being on the court. So, wasn't it also a similar situation to this last year, where the Thunder got beat by like 50 against the Grizzlies? It was in Memphis, but I feel like it was like SGA and Giddey were out again. So a little bit of history repeating itself potentially. Yeah. Playing some Williams. I like it. Whoo. I think either SGA or Giddey will be in. They don't really have anyone at point guard. Yeah, but also Timmy, like, the desire to win may not be a thing for the Thunder. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know that they care about that. And this is probably one of those games that you don't win no matter what. So why wouldn't you just punt it in the Wembanyama sweepstakes? Yeah. Okay. Well, we only got one game left. So, once again, to reiterate, all of these games lock at the same time. So, we should have the news to react accordingly. Thankfully, all the East Coast games are not on this slate, or not on this slate to lock at 7, right? Trey Mann can play point guard. Yeah, it can get weird. Lou Dort can play point guard. So, there's that. This stream is brought to you by Underdog. So we should maybe actually we can't even look at like props right now, but if you're not an Underdog, you want to support the stream, get a little something in return. Underdog Fantasy is doubling your first deposit up to $100 if you use code GUNDACKER. They have a pick'em product similar to PrizePicks. Is SGA out? He's not out. Similar to PrizePicks, the 20x your entry if you get them all right. And then, yeah, the board's got to be really weird right now considering we don't have news. But yeah, just, hey, sign up using my code and then deposit later if you want to. And they'll show me some love for you guys doing that, you know? You know? It's just, so to what I was saying on the is SGA out thing, 10-point spread. I know the Thunder suck. I get it. But that the 10-point spread for a home team kind of makes me think that if I had to guess, I would sway it over 50% on preparing for SJ to be out. It just feels like a tank bowl type of opportunity for the Thunder. But that's completely speculation. There's nothing out there to support that. And thankfully, I don't have to live and die by speculation tonight. We will have the news to adjust to with, knock on wood, ample time. It's just not going to be fun to play Trey Mann, Aaron Wiggins. You know what I mean? But I do think we should keep an eye on Mike Muscala because they may not even mention that Mike Muscala is out, right? He could just be an inactive. He hasn't played a back-to-back this season, and I don't think he played many last season either. So he could just be active DNP. And if that was the case, that would make me feel better about taking a shot on Paku's minutes and then Jalen Williams as well. Main event tonight, the New Orleans Pelicans up against the Phoenix Suns. Y'all can see me, right? Y'all hear me? Got a YouTube alert saying that stream crashed. I don't know. I think we're good, right? Am I dropping any frames? No? I don't know. YouTube's tripping. Pelicans project starting 5. CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Zion Williamson, and Jonas Valanciunas taking on Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Torrey Craig, Bismack Biyombo, the Big Mac Bimbo. 227.5 total. 3-point spread in favor of the Phoenix Suns. This is this the revenge spot? This is the spot where Zion dunked at the end, right? So, a little personal. And I took that personal. No Ayton, Crowder, Cam Johnson campaign for the Phoenix Suns here. So we can kind of lock into big minutes for Chris Paul, who has put up a couple very serviceable games, but 8K Chris Paul tends to get lost by the wayside. But 51, almost 40 fantasy points, 46 fantasy points, 3 of his last 4, including a game against the Pelicans. And then on the other side, Zion, in those 2 games against Phoenix, 50 and 50. He's a guy that's just been a man unleashed, especially in the absence of Brandon Ingram. So on a slate that might not give us many studs, especially if we do lose Giannis Antetokounmpo, there might be a real shot that Zion is in contention to lead the slate. As it stands right now, soft projections at like 3 p.m. It was Giannis 1, Ja Morant 2, SGA 3, Zion 4. We could lose Giannis and SGA, and then in the projection, I got a 3-point differential between Ja Morant and Zion, and then Ja Morant's the guy that could be in the 10, 12-point spread. You get what I'm getting at? So Zion could be the guy, and at 10K, kind of crazy, right? There's some of you guys that didn't love playing him at 7 and 8K, and now tonight, he might be an anchor of our lineups as the late night hammer. You want the hammer? So gonna like some Zion here. Gonna like this game to get spunky too, though. Look out for that. On the Suns side, Devin Booker without DeAndre Ayton is certainly something that is gonna trend well. Let's get the official numbers since we have time today. Muscala really needs a day. Hey Tizzle, he could play today. Don't get me lying. I'm just saying historically, it looks like he hasn't played any back-to-backs this season. But circumstances are different, right? No JRE. And some other pieces in the front court are missing. But it's Mike Muscala. So you just know, who knows. And then let's put Devin Booker on. Let's put Chris Paul on. We'll also take off Cameron Payne. And I ordered some McDonald's and a large high C orange. And they brought me a soda. I've never been so upset to get a soda. I was looking forward to that orange. Devin Booker leads the team in usage with this split, 30% usage rate, over a fantasy point per minute. Chris Paul, $1.25 on the fantasy point per minute, and a 44% assist rate. So, let's go pull up Underdog since we are brought to you by Underdog today. Do we have a Chris Paul assist prop that's anything less than 10? Or do we even have a Chris Paul assist prop? Let's open it up. Chalk might put up another solid game. What up, Ayo? We love you, Ayo. Let's go NBA. Oh, by the way, you could mix and match your NBA props tonight with your NFL props if you're already on some. Let's go look at Chris Paul. I love how easy it is to look. 10.5 assists. So it's high, but it is reasonable considering he has a 40% assist rate here. So I think a Chris Paul assist prop would correlate generally well with Devin Booker's scoring prop, 28.5. So someone might put together there. Just wanted to see what the books were at on that. Leads us. Have McDonald's get some fajitas. I'm going to tell you, like you told me, cash rules everything around me. No, you know why I get McDonald's a lot from DoorDash? It's the simplest reason. Very simple reason. They put it all in a giant bag. So I don't have to worry about the dasher carrying, because I order like a ice cream from Burger King once, or it was like a shake, and like the top was open, it was all exposed. Maybe it's all in my head, but the fact that McDonald's just puts everything in a giant bag and like tapes it shut, and they just bring me the bag, it's a peace of mind thing. So that's why I get a lot of McDonald's off of DoorDash. I would take my business elsewhere if more companies did that. I derailed there. McCollum at 7.8 to 7.4. So talked about that 7K range in the guard spot on DraftKings kind of being competitive. I think I would find all the money in the world to go get the Drew Holiday if Giannis was down. But Darius Garland's not in a terrible spot. Jordan Clarkson has exercised some ceiling, and he's at a single-digit ownership right now. So it would be not difficult to forego CJ McCollum if you had to, but it's also a guy that could push 40 minutes in what could be a spunky competitive game. So I do like. I am cautious at getting too overzealous on the narrative, but these guys had some bad blood. After that Zion dunk at the end, you know? I'm too much. Any news come out since we've been live? Nothing. Celtics are listing Jason Tatum out for personal reasons against the Magic on Sunday. Dang. Joe Ingles is still out. That's about it. Cool. So that is our slate. What do you want? We got a little bit of time. What do you guys want to do? What do you want to do? Anybody out here? We only got 60 people hanging out, so we can vibe a little bit more. Anybody watching, not subscribed to the channel? Because I don't know if you can see this. I'll try and show it. Will that zoom in? We are 4 subs away from 8K. That's just a nice number. So if you're not subscribed, or you don't even know if you're subscribed, see if that red button below is lit up. Click on it. Let's get to 8K. That'd be lit. What up, Doug? Happy holidays to you, man. Ingles on Monday. Favorite dessert? Ice cream. Zion's gonna 360 on Paul and tell him. I mean, I could see some ejections in that game, but that's not something I'm game scripting for. But yeah, if Giannis is out, is Ingles will play? Ingles isn't playing, Doug. Ingles is on Monday. He's out today. Other accounts. Oh man, we botting it up. So there's a lot that we really can't do with this slate yet because it is so news contingent. Otherwise, I would have popped open Fantasy Cruncher and just kind of made some exposures while we were live, but really don't have that luxury because the Giannis news would change everything. The Oklahoma City Thunder news would change enough. I don't think I would be track star running to lock button the value here, but it certainly would change enough, and it also might widen the spread enough to maybe I'm a little less on the Grizzlies side. Yeah, I don't know what else to do. I need you to beat the Pismo Beach guy in the $50 league. Let's go look at that. I think in the $50 league, it's a done deal. I think I'm winning, like, without a doubt. The $150 league, I don't think I'm gonna win round one. Let's see, 100 in the $50 league. At this time, any Dallas players show up, there's at least 3 that are going to be in a ton of lineups. Am I against this Pismo guy right now? I am. I don't. Ooh, it is close. What happened here? I don't know. I got really good games out of George Kittle and Justin Jefferson. But I will say I've been struggling at running back. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. What's the sub count at now? We are at 97. We're 3 away. If we don't get it today, I'm sure we'll get it Monday. Yeah, so I got really good games from George Kittle and Justin Jefferson. He's got Peoples-Jones going. Hawkinson's kind of meh. Nick Chubb, probably expect him to get to 25. But the rest of my line, like, I picked up Tutu Atwell. Like, this is bad. I'm really struggling. I'm glad I benched Travis Homer, but I'm really struggling. So it's gonna be a problem. I was really hoping for healthy Lamar Jackson down the stretch, but I think I got you. I think I got him, man. Right now I'm leaning towards, the right side of a coin flip. So we'll see. But in the 150, I'm not looking so hot. Last week, I'm carrying a 30-point deficit into week 2 of the first round playoffs, and I don't think I'm going to overcome it. Only got 13 points from Thielen. I have a 36% chance of winning. I'm down 60. It's tough. And he had Justin Jefferson. I mean, that's raps. But that's my boy Russ, man. He's a shark. What game are we feeling like is the target game? I don't know. Like, there's not a game stack for me at the moment. I guess if we did lose Giannis, the Bucks game could be stackable. But at the price points on Clarkson, Markin, and Olynyk, I feel like it might be a 2 or 3 situation. But I think you could be there. But I don't think I don't think I'm that enamored with one game stack. I'm just finding a lot of good spots to grab isolated wise on teams. So. It is what it is. I had Taylor. Ooh, that's rough. Yeah, I couldn't be that lucky to go against Jonathan Taylor. What can you do? You like Steven Adams against the Thunder? Maybe. I got no quarrels with it, but it's hard to justify him at that price on either side, considering what else is on the board at the 5 to 6K range. Anyway. Chad, I don't know. I don't want to kill the airtime. But I guess that's our breakdown. So I'm going to be in the Discord in about 30, 40 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. Cat's watching football, getting ready for UFC, stuff like that. If you guys want to hang out with me, go to rundfs.com. VIP memberships. Try a Week Pass. Week Pass will get you NBA. It also gets you NFL tomorrow. I usually don't cover NBA on Sundays. And then next week we got a full week of action. We also have Christmas coming up, right? Is that next week? It's on Saturday or next Sunday. So yeah, it's a good time to get a Week Pass. Jock Landale night. That is a good question. I'll be there on Landale for sure. I think that $3,900 price tag on DK is still too low. I'm getting a great projection. I think even the $5,200 price point on FanDuel is something I'll still get to. So yes, looking at what shook out in that last game for Phoenix. Biombo got to 18 minutes. He was in big foul trouble, so let's maybe give him an opportunity at 22, 25 minutes, but I do think there's a good chance that we can project both guys at like 24 minutes and feel like it's not a crazy thing to do. And I think per minute, we've also discussed that Jock Landale is just a little bit more productive. So yes, it is. That is the spot I do want to get to, Jock Landale. A lot of his playtime came up. No, I guess he did share the court with Chris Paul a little bit here. Yeah, a lot of it. Okay. And Biyombo is not immune to foul trouble in this game against Shea Val or Zion, right? So definitely a Landale night for me on DK. What was he's about 1-5. Yeah. Anyway, we'll do one more sub count, chat. If you're at, we're still 3 away. So Monday, hopefully Monday we'll break AK subs. Let's see what the schedule is on Monday. NBA schedule. And then we'll go from there. I think we're going to do streams Monday. Or I think we can do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And Tuesdays, okay, cool. We can actually have a really fluffy week next week. Because I don't think I'm obligated to be elsewhere until Thursday. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday definitely looking like the stream days. Thursday, no stream on this channel. And then Friday, I think I'm booked on that day. So we'll definitely be back on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Yeah, anyway. I appreciate you guys giving me some of your Saturday afternoon. You don't have to do it. It's love. Tell somebody out there you love them, because I love you. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.
Hey, Gun. Yeah. They know what time it is.
I got so much energy.
Gun Decker, you know how we coming, yeah, it's run DFS where we don't just play it, we run it, whether for the long, couple dawns, a couple of buckets, guaranteed to chat, check a bag like we carrying luggage round here. Everybody fam, we don't care about the budget round here. You can turn your cash to a couple of hundred round here. No days off, every day we be hustling, tell them good luck, God bless, go win you some money. Get a pen and a pad and come see where it really take you. Went from 50-50 cash in a hit in the milli maker. Got the updated news and the status on any player. The chalk of the night, do we lock it or do we fade it? They ask me how I'm doing, I tell them I feel it blessed. If you want a slow grind, go place a single bet. Trying to get rich, parlays or boost the odds. Soon you'll be cashing and dancing with the stars. NBA, NFL, the MLB up in VIP. Balling like we want a GPP. 15 minutes to lock and there's a DMP, no sweat. We gon' figure that out and we'll still bing. But remember that it's a marathon and not a race. You gotta put your heart in it no matter how long it takes. 8, 9, 10 next got me sitting in first place. Top value player of the day, let's break the slate.